Hi, Verbling. My name is Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about math, some of the vocabulary that goes with it, some of the pronunciation, of course, which is a big issue for a lot of students, and then we'll play a couple little math games if we have time. Amr, welcome back. I'm surprised
Hi.
to see you here so early, Amr. I thought usually you're not free until later in the day.
Sorry?
I said I'm surprised to see you here early. Usually I feel like you're here later in the day, like maybe a couple hours from now. Are you off early today or is this your normal time?
No, actually, I finished work uh, today at 6:30 p.m. So it was very late, and
Oh.
I'm very exhausted.
Ah. So I must be wrong. I always thought, in fact, I had been planning classes that you requested later because I thought that, I don't know, I thought that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock my
Yes,
time was good for you.
yes, they are. I can possible join, but that day I wasn't at home. I didn't know that you planned this class for me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it wasn't specifically. It was a request from you, but lots of students wanted it and benefited from it. And I'll definitely do it again soon. It was pretty popular. Good to see
Thank
you
you.
back, Amr. Glad your mic's working and everything. Glad my mic's working too. I've been having trouble as well.
Yes.
Catalina, welcome to class. Maybe she's still loading.
Hello, teacher. Sorry,
Hello,
my computer
hello.
is slow too.
Catalina, what kind of technology troubles you the most? Like, what's the most frustrating piece of technology for you?
In my case, my computer is too old, so it takes too long time to get into any application. So this is the reason for I always start to talk late.
And what's the issue with your computer? Is it an old computer or is the programming bad?
It's the computer because when I bought this computer, it was like $300. It's too cheap. So then I realized that this computer is it has old technology like not enough RAM or not enough velocity. So that is the reason. And now I am thinking to buy another one, but I think the computer is better to buy a table, a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I am thinking about my next acquisition, technological acquisition.
All right. Thanks, Carolina. Claudio, what frustrates you most about technology?
Hi, teacher. I think in my case, the connection, the internet, uh, always the modem. I have,
Totally. That could be super frustrating.
yeah, and you pay one Mexico expense cost is expensive, and it's the service is bad, and the connection is weak always, or the most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, with my devices, I don't have a
Hmm.
problem. I always try to invest in that machines. So, but the only trouble that I have is with the connection, the internet, the service.
No, I can't.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear
Oh
you
my
now.
gosh. It's like third time's the charm. That happened my first class too. I had to reload 3 times before it worked. And then it works like magic. I don't know what the problem is. Okay. We're going to get over it. And Layla, welcome to class. I'm sorry I got cut off right at you. Tell me about your most frustrating technology experiences.
Oh, hello. That's my first class. It is my first day in this website, and
Cool, welcome.
yeah, thank you. My second class. So technology. I use a tablet.
Is it ever frustrating to use the tablet?
Sorry.
Is it ever frustrating? Do you ever encounter problems?
Yes, a lot of problems. We need to pay for use the internet, but there is not a good internet.
That's terrible.
Yeah, yes, very expensive. Yes.
Frustrating. So you pay and you still don't get the service that you want. All right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Layla.
Thank you.
Amr, any quick frustrating stories about using technology?
I usually use my smartphone, and the most frustrating thing about smartphone or laptops that the battery. You have to put the plug in to save the battery, and sometimes uh, you when you're lazy you can't plug your lying on bed or something like that, and the battery is very very low, and the smartphone or your lap or your tablet or laptop is going to turn off. This is the most bad thing.
Yeah, definitely. That's difficult. Okay. So to start class today, we're going to go over the most basics, normal numbers. But after that, we're going to talk a little bit about pronunciation and some more advanced stuff. Let's go 5 by 5. So Layla, start with number 1. Read 5 of them. Then Claudio is next. Then Carolina. Then Amr, until the whole list is done. 5 by 5.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 16, no, 15.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
40, 50, 60, 70,
You can finish it.
80. Okay, 80, 90, 100.
Okay, so let's talk pronunciation now. There's a quick note down here we're going to discuss, and there's a couple other things too. So the biggest mistake people make is the difference between things like 14 and 40. On 14, 15, 16, and all of the teens, the teen syllable is stronger. So 14, 15, 16, that's where the stress of the word is, on the teen. And 40, 50, 60 has the stress on the first syllable. So it sounds more like 40. And that T, even though it's a T, it really is pronounced like a D. So 14 and 40. 14, 40. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's practice a little bit. I'm going to put a number in the chat box and call on someone to help me out. Let's try. I'm working in the Verbling chat box. Is that okay for everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right, Layla, read that number.
What number? What?
In the Verbling chat box. I'll show you really quick where the chat boxes are since it's your first day. I'll give you a little tour. All right, so you're going to see my screen 1,000 times, and it looks silly, I know. But if you come to the left, you'll see there's the Verbling chat box here, and that opens and closes the Verbling chat box. There's also the Google chat box, and that opens and closes the Google chat box.
Teacher, Verbling chat box doesn't work for me.
Okay, all right, we can work in the Google chat box right now. That's fine too. Can everyone see the Google chat box?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Layla, you don't see the chat boxes?
No. I can hear you. I can see you, but no Google stuff.
So do you see the icons on, it should be the left of your screen. Do you see the icons I showed you?
No.
No, teacher. I think she can't see it because she's joining from her laptop, her tab. So the application doesn't support chat box.
Got it. What up, bummer. That's okay. So I guess we'll just make it a quick exercise and we won't use the chat box for other things, so we don't leave out anyone. In the meantime, let's do a couple things in the chat box. I'm going to put a number in. Claudio, will you read that?
Yes. 17.
Mm-hmm. Carolina?
70.
Mm-hmm. 70.
70.
Mm-hmm. Amr?
14.
Mm-hmm. Claudio?
Yeah. 45.
Mm-hmm. Carolina?
82.
Mm-hmm.
82.
Amr?
13.
Yeah, you guys have the hang of it. That's not so hard. Important note of pronunciation, but not super hard if you're already quite familiar with English. Okay, so let's get into something a little more difficult. We're going to talk about fractions. So if you see this 1/2, we've got a couple things we can call it. A half or 1/2. Let's keep going, and I'll ask you guys to just call off what we say. You don't have to do anything with the numbers. Just read those three. How about Layla? Will you read those for us?
Yes. A quarter or 1/4. 3/4. A third or 1/3. 2/3.
And I forgot to put here, we have another option. 3/4 is another option here. Most of them have another option. Okay. Let's go down to these. Claudio, will you read those for us?
Yeah, a fifth or 1/5, 3/5, an eighth or 1/8, 5/8.
Okay, there's only two more. Catalina, will you read those? Just these two here.
Okay. 1 1/2, 5 3/4.
All right. And a small technical note here is that we use and to represent a decimal point. So if you see that, you'll say 5 3/4 because it's not a full number. Sometimes people will say 101. Technically, that's not totally correct because there's no decimal point there. You'll hear both, though. All right, let's try some other fractions. And it's going to require we know ordinal numbers. Amr, what are ordinal numbers? Are you familiar with them already? These are ordinal numbers. So what do we use those for?
I don't know. I know them, but I don't know how to use it. I guess we say it with months, like the 5th of September or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Catalina, what else do we use these for?
For example, for dates, when you are referring to a date.
Definitely.
Or years.
What else? Catalina, tell us something else.
Or centuries. Centuries is called with ordinal numbers.
Claudio, anything else we use these for, these ordinal numbers?
Yes, maybe when we're rating something.
Yeah, like what?
Like who's the first on blah blah blah, or the second.
Layla, can you think of any other uses for ordinal numbers?
For sports ranking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awards and things like that. So, like their name suggests, these are used to order things. Instead of saying I have 2 apples, if I say the second apple, you know that there was one before and then there was one after. It gives you an order for them. They're pretty hard to pronounce in some cases, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go over the pronunciation. And these are also what we're going to use for most fractions. You saw them a little bit 1/3 or 3/4. So let me highlight this. The ordinal number for 4 is 4th, which you also sometimes see written like this. So if you see it written like this, you're going to pronounce it 4th. But you can have 4ths. with an S on the end. So that would look like this in the chat box, and I'll go up and highlight it. So you can say 1/4 or 3/4. So you see how we've made it plural. You can have singular and plural, 3/4. Very hard to say, but we're going to start with the singular. We'll go through these in the same way we did it the last time. We'll start on the opposite end. Amr, will you start with the first 5? And Catalina next, Claudio next, Layla after that.
Okay. First, second, third, fourth, fifth.
6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th.
60th, 70th, 80th, 90th, 20th.
21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th.
26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th.
31st, 40th, 50th, 60th, and 70th.
80th, 90th, 100th, 1000th, 1,000,000th.
All right. So these ones here I think are the hardest because they're the least heard as well. We don't hear them that frequently. But I'm going to pronounce them so you guys can hear all of the vowels here. We've got 31st, 40th. So we got 2 vowels there. 40th, 50th, 60th, 70th, 80th, 90th, 100th. So that one kind of gets squished together. There's no extra vowel there. 100th. And you kind of don't pronounce that last D. Sometimes people do, but most of the time it just gets squished into the TH sound. 100th. 1,000th. 1,000,000th. Do you guys have any pronunciation questions on these? Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to put it up on the class notes, and I'm going to ask you guys to read them for me. How would we say this one? Amr.
Okay, 22nd.
Well, it's a fraction, right? So how many? 4/22, that's a fraction. So if we combine what we just talked about here with what we were doing up here, how would you say it?
I don't know.
Does anyone have a guess how we would do this?
I guess 4, 22, 22.
You're very close. The 4 was right, but we don't say 22 because we need an ordinal number. How do you say 22 as an ordinal number?
22nd.
Yeah. 20. And it's going to be plural, 20 seconds. So 4 20 seconds. How about Carolina, will you do this one for us?
7, 6, 5.
How would I spell that?
Teenth.
CHS, 16ths.
DHS.
Because there's multiple. Thank you very much, Catalina. All right, Claudia, are you ready?
Yeah.
How about this one?
Yeah, it's 9 and 48 third.
What now?
9 and 48 third.
Close. 40 thirds.
43rd.
9 43rds. Thank you. And Layla, you're up next. Oops, sorry. What am I doing here? Layla, you're up next. Try this one.
3 356 356.
Yes. 356. Ooh, that's hard to say. 56. All right. Let's go one more round. Starting again with Amr. Try that one.
11 elevenths.
Yeah. Okay. How about this one for Carolina?
5 12.
Now, how would I spell that?
TWELFTH.
You're missing a letter?
S.
Yeah, 12. That one's one of the most difficult ones to say because we've got the L, the F, the TH, and the S all in a long row of consonants. It's tough.
Can you repeat the pronunciation, teacher?
What?
Can you repeat the pronunciation?
Yeah, so it's 5 12. And it's hard actually to hear, especially if you're not looking at someone. And it can be easy to hear the difference if you're a native speaker, but I think a lot of people learning English, they have a difficulty hearing the difference. So it's 5 12. So 12. We say them all in a row. L, F, T, H, S. 12. 12.
Okay.
I know.
I have to practice.
Yeah. All right. And Claudio, wait, who was I on? Whose turn is it right now? Is it Claudio's turn next?
No, it was me.
Layla's turn?
Was me.
But who's next? Because Carolina, you did the last one, right?
No.
Okay. Claudio, I think you're up next. And let's try... let's try that one.
Yeah. And 7 and 38.
738. Awesome. And all right, Layla.
62 100 100.
Yeah. $62 100ths. We have one more that I'd like to try, and whoever gets this first can shout it out. Anyone know how we would say that?
I guess 60 6
Uh-huh. Oops.
and 66 and thousands.
Yeah, 66 thousandths. All right. Any questions on these? They do require a lot of practice. I threw you a curveball with the last one. Oh, well, we had that down there. Any questions? No. Masters of fractions. So not all of those will be really common, but it is a pretty common thing to use fractions instead of decimal points. And let's try a more simple exercise now. We're just going to count by 10, count by 5, count by 15. And let's start with Amr. Can you count by 10 for us?
Me?
Yeah, up to 200. So from 10 to 200, counting every 10.
From 10 to 100?
To 200, yeah.
200, okay.
Yeah.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200.
Perfect. Thank you. Catalina, count by 5s, stopping at 60.
60. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60.
Perfect. Thank you. Layla, will you count by 15 until 230?
15 to sorry.
What now? So
15,
count every 15 until 240. Let's make it. That makes more sense.
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand. Until 20.
Until 240. So the last number you'll say is 240.
Okay. 15. 30. 45. 16. 60. 75. 90. 105. 120. 135. 150. 165. 180. 205. 220. 235. Yeah?
Yeah, your counting was good. I think somewhere the math must have got off because it should have ended at 240, but the counting was perfect. And I think sometimes you still struggle a little bit with the 16 versus 6D, but you're working on it, and most of the time you did it very well. All right. Claudio.
Yeah.
Can you count by 3? From 3 until, how about 60? Well, no, that's too high. Maybe 45.
Okay. Yeah. 45, 48, 51.
No, from 3 until 45.
Okay. Yeah. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 40, 42, 45, 48, 51. Yeah, yeah. So.
Thank you very much. All right, so that involved a little bit of math. You guys did it very well. Let's go down a little bit farther, and we'll keep talking about numbers. But this time, we're going to do a little more math with it. So now that you all already know how to do this stuff, let's talk about some addition and subtraction, multiplication and division. So we're going to learn kind of how to say some of these problems, and then I'll call out some math questions. Amr, will you read what we have highlighted here?
Addition 2 plus 3 4 is 5. Subtraction 6 minus 5 is 1. I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
Can we say 6 less 5 instead of 6 minus 5? And
Sorry, can you say that one more time? You're a little muffled. Speak up a little.
Can we use less instead of minus and add instead of plus?
Not exactly. So I have heard 6 less 5, but it's really not a common thing to say, and you definitely cannot say 5 add 2. If you were going to use those, I would say, for addition, I would say add 2 to 5. So I would reorder it a little bit, add 2 to 5, so the verb comes first, because it's like a direction. You're ordering someone to do it. Add 2 to 5. And less is not a verb. So I have heard it like 5 less 6 or whatever, but it's just not a really common way to say it. But you could say it that way. People would probably understand what you were getting at.
Because I've seen it in the book.
You've seen it where?
In books.
Yeah, I think it's something that's a little bit outdated. So I have heard it before. It's just not something that we really use frequently. And I think sometimes, even if it's something correct, people tend not to understand it if it's coming from a non-native speaker, because they assume that it's weird and they're not sure what you're saying. So they go, oh, I don't know what's happening here. But it's fine. It's fine to use. It's not a very common term, but it is something that, like, it's outdated but possible to say. But I think it would be better if you stuck to the more traditional way, just to not confuse people as much. All right. Ken, welcome to class.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Ken, will you read the highlighted part that is going over some of our math problems?
Okay. Multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8. Division. 10 divided by 3 is 3.33.
Yep. Thanks. All right, any questions on how we say those? Pretty easy. We'll just go over.
We can say 3.33.
Yeah, 3.33.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Okay, any other questions? We're going to go on and do some quick math problems. So some simple stuff. All I want you guys to do is read out the equation, and if you can, come up with the answer. Most of them should be relatively simple, but if you're having trouble with the answer, you can take your time. Layla, will you do the first one for us?
Yes, 3 times 6 is 18.
Claudio, the next one?
Yeah, 4 plus 9 equal 13.
And equals is another way to say it. So you can use is and equals interchangeably. Thanks, Claudio.
Okay.
Catalina, the third one?
24 divided 3 equals 8
Uh-huh. And usually we say divided by.
divided
With
by
that position. Amr, number 4.
182 minus 64 is 118.
Yeah, good math skills. Ken, will you do the next one for us?
Okay. 89 plus 18 would be equal to 97. No.
97?
Hmm?
You're close, but you're 10
No,
off.
107.
Yeah, exactly. I know, it's kind of stressful. You have to focus on like the numbers and the math problem and English. All right. Layla, will you do the next one?
Yeah. 7 times 5, 35.
Carolina, the next one?
245 minus 140 is equal to 131.
Thanks. And Amr, do the last one for us.
32 divided by 2 is 8.
All right. So let's talk about your feelings on math. When I was a kid, I was never a huge fan of math because I always felt like I was bad at it. And I think feeling like I was bad at it actually stopped me from being good at it, if you know what I mean, because I always felt really discouraged. So I never really tried very hard because I was so discouraged. I thought, oh, I'll never be good at it. And I just didn't try. I want to know what your experience has been with math. Are you good? Are you not good? And why? We'll start with Ken. Do you like math?
I'm curious about concept of math, but I'm not good at math because from the first beginning, and I dropped kind of easy calculation in the brain. I cannot work well so much, so I always write it down on the paper and to calculate.
So in school, did you sometimes struggle with math, or is it like if you really put your mind to it, it's not hard?
It's hard to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
I agree.
yeah.
All right, Amr, how about you? Do you like math? Do you feel like you've been good at math?
Yes, I like math a lot. It's actually my job to use numbers. I always use numbers, but I'll be honest, I use calculator a lot.
You use what? The calculator?
Yes.
Yes. I know what you mean. I almost feel like I use it so much that it's probably bad for me because it's like I could use my actual brain, but I'm so lazy that I don't. I use my calculator instead. All right. Catalina, how about you? Are you good at math? What was your experience like as a kid with math?
Teacher, I am good at maths. I am engineer, so I have to be good at math.
Awesome. Have you enjoyed it?
Sometimes yes.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I have something to add. It's not math. It's not actually numbers and counting. There are a lot of things. For example, accounting. Uh, uh, is there are a lot of equations. You don't have to memorize. Like for example, 89 plus 18 equal what? Not like that. There, 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 there many things uh, are important in math. You have to um, they give you something phrases, you have to understand it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Then you calculate your equation. So
Mm-hmm.
you can use calculator to solve your equation.
All right, so you're saying it's okay. I use the calculator all the time.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Summer. Claudio, how about you? Do you feel like you're good at math?
Yeah, I am an administrator, but I always like to practice. Maybe I had a very good teacher, in math teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and told me the basic, like memorize basic math, like addition, subtraction,
Mm-hmm.
division, and it's like a good background. And I also participate in a contest or competition about maths.
Wow.
So I pretend to do the same on English. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's the idea, no? The basic skills and the grammar and the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I think that is the same, no? Or you can apply it on everything.
Yeah, same concept. Layla, how about you? Have you always been good at math?
Oh, I don't like math, but fortunately my job I know I I don't use it a lot math.
Okay. So let's go over decimal points now. And then I've got one more conversation question for us. So there's a few ways to do this. You can say not, which I don't know why my computer is saying that it's wrong. Let's see. Oh, not. That's why. All right. So there's not, or you could say 0, or you could say O. These are other ways to say it. Let's read through some of these decimal places. We'll go 3 at a time. Starting on the right with Layla. Will you read those for us?
Okay. 0.3, 0.3, 3.45, not 3.45.
Actually, when does it say that?
98.4.
Mm-hmm. So someone asked me earlier, and I just copy pasted this. I don't really like that note. A lot of times people will say 3.45, even though in terms of a math class, you're supposed to say 3.45, but you can also say, you can also make it a fraction. But a lot of people say 3.45. However you want to do it is fine. The more correct way would be to say 3.45. Let's keep going.
I guess.
The next question?
Yes. I guess they use 4, 5, and because we can skip one of them, we can say 3.4 only, or we can say 3.5.
Sorry, what?
In this case, they say that you can't say 3.45.
Uh-huh.
Yes, so I guess that's because we can use only 3.4 or 3.5.
You mean rounding?
Right?
Rounding to the nearest, like, if
Yes.
you round up, it would be 3.5, or if you round
Yes.
down, it would be 3.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. Claudia, will you read the next 3 for us, the highlighted ones?
Yeah, sure. $1, 55 cents, and $1.55. $700 and 3,500 euro and 50 cents. 3,500 euro 50 cents.
Mm-hmm. So this is where we start to see and representing the decimal place. And this is why technically we're not supposed to say and unless it's representing the decimal place, but people do it. So it's good to know that people do that anyways. Any questions on decimals before we practice a little bit with them?
Yes, teacher. With pounds, do you use also cents or piastres?
With pounds, as in with the European, like British currency?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you still use cents. I think you say like, yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not British, so I'm not the expert on this, but I believe they do.
Sometimes I hear people say 5 pounds and they're piastres, not cents.
What do they say instead of cents?
Piastres.
Put it in the chat box, will you? I'm having a little trouble hearing you. And for euros, I know it is cents as well. I know they say, ooh, I've never heard that term. You said it's piastres?
Yes, piastres.
Piastres. Wow, I've never heard that term. Yeah, you'd have to ask someone British. That's an interesting new vocabulary word. I'll have to ask someone British. I know that for euros they use cents as well, so you can say 1 euro and 6 cents or whatever. But I'm not totally sure about if there's another term for it. I know that they have some other terms for their money. Like in American money, we sometimes say a dime instead of 10 cents or a penny instead of 1 cent. And I think they have equivalent terms, like they say pence, and they have some other, yeah, bucks is another term for money, I think. And that works for British English or American English. There's a lot of slang terms for money, right?
What about grandy?
What?
Grandy.
Grind?
No, grandy.
Oh, grand. A grand is $1,000. So if you say a grand, you're talking about 1,000. Or 12 grand is 12,000. Any other slang terms for money you guys know? I can put a couple in the chat box. There's Skrilla, dough, green. What else? There's tons. We could go all day. All right, guys, I'm going to stop this class now so I can get to my next class, which is about the economy. So that will also have a lot to do with money, and we'll be sharing a little bit of information about individual economies, reading a little bit, and having some discussion. And yeah, thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you very much.